extravaganza. That's right. You found the self-proclaimed original Twitch TTRPG stream that lets you shake up our world. Now pay attention because this is how it works. If you'd like to add some loops to this roller coaster ride of the show, you're gonna need fake chips. Now these magical loyalty points can be earned just by watching, following, hosting, subscribing, or just engaging with us in the chat. It's like free money, Pete. With your fate chips, you can use your powers as an architect to heal your favorite players, summon items that will make their adventure a lot easier, or a lot harder. You can even make players say or sing outrageously silly things. Think of those possibilities. But wait. There is more. You can also toss our unsuspecting heroes into random encounters that will leave them sweating, strategizing, and questioning their life choices. All it takes is a quick redeem command in the chat. You choose the item or action and the player you want to mess with, and we'll take it from there. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourselves for a mind-blowing spectacle of storytelling and mayhem. We've got adventure, we've got drama, and more surprises than a clown car at a kid's birthday party. So let's go! Well.
Hello and welcome. Oh, we're starting over again. There we go. Hello and welcome to all you architects of fate. Good to have you here. Well, let me turn off the echo. Good to have you guys here. Appreciate it, Felix, for the intro. But for those of you, if there were some sound issues, just know that we are the stream here that you guys can interact with. So you can enjoy the show. And if you want something to happen, you can make it happen. If you want a party member to succeed a roll, fail a roll, get healed, if you want to summon in random encounters, or, I don't know, make my players sing songs like a Disney princess. Yes, please. But we're good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Tonight we are, or a troll. No calamari yet, Mr. Goliath. Not yet. Tonight we are playing Conan, Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of by Modifius Entertainment. We are on Season 3, Episode 25. Title of tonight's episode is The Nimrod, which, as we were just discussing, is not a moron. It means hunter. Thank you, Bugs Bunny, for changing the word Nimrod from meaning hunter to moron. But, I mean, it kind of means the same thing sometimes, depending on the target. I will leave you guys to decide if that applies in this situation. Our party finds themselves, after escaping from the cursed cave, waking up in the mountains and traveling, finding out that there might be a hunting lodge nearby that Tiber had visited as a child. There were some other details around that the party could again ask for more information around again that was given out and can always be given again. But as the party moved forward, they found several dangers and deadly environment and animals among the mountains of these here mountains, and have moved forward into what appeared to be a nice, serene, safe glade. Surrounded, protected from the elements, nice soft ground, a couple of good boulders to lean against. And then as soon as they leaned against one of the boulders, they yanked on the moss, and turns out the boulder was a troll! The troll that looked like a boulder and was made of stone and had moss for hair, and so that when they went to pull the moss, they actually pulled the troll's short and curly bits. Made it not very happy. And then they threw a bomb at it and stabbed it a couple times, and here we are. We begin the night with the trolls getting their first round of the fight in order to remove these pesky nuisances that just grabbed them by the short and curlies and started trying to blow them up. So, with that, the bad weather has already begun. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Goliath. Prepare for trouble and make it double. Oh, you're right. I did not introduce my team. Tonight, we're so glad to have you with us. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled. My back's hurting a little bit tonight, not sleeping. But we've got a great cast here for you tonight to help enjoy this show. Make certain to give them your love in the chat. Make them do funny things. I love it. First off, I would like to introduce our moderator, the man behind the scenes, and the one keeping us really moving. That would be Nat in the background. After that, I've got my players starting. Let's go from my point of view, from top left to bottom right. Nat! First off, we have Abertac, the zealous witch hunter, slicer of titties, and current carrier of a dead god. After that, we have Zang, the far-off emissary of Katai, convincer of ridiculous things, and glad-hander. Also bomb thrower, surprisingly enough.
Hander? Yes, you're very glad.
Then we have Verai, the stealthy assassin, stabber of slaveholders, and otherwise general dues, sometimes gooder. After that, we have Zinnia, our silver-plated mercenary queen, the slicer and dicer herself, who, coincidentally, has an evil doppelganger from the mirror universe that just may or may not have a grudge now. And finally, returning shortly, but on a quick errand, he is invisible, wearing his cloak of invisibility at the moment. He will be releasing it shortly. We have Thornicius, the Bostonian archer, ranger, and princess waver. All right. So, to get going, ladies and gentlemen, you architects and lovely people, allow me to attempt to murder my players.
Again.
The end. All right. So, the troll that has taken a bit of damage from and recently had Thornicius hanging off his shoulder is going to be swinging a big rock clobbering hand at Thornicius, who is not here at the moment. So, Zinnia, you're going to have to roll for him if you choose to. There is a hit. There is one success worth of hits on Thornicius here. Would you like... Oh, we don't have any momentum. Does he have a way to block or dodge without momentum? Shoots deflection. Okay, he does have...
He give you doom to do it.
He can give me doom. He does have deflection, so the first one does not cost doom. Okay. However, with a 15 and a 17, I don't think any of those match his parry skill of 14 and 2. So he gets clobbered. You'll have to be sure to tell him when he gets back just how much he gets clobbered. Roll. Let's do with, I think 6 dice 6 worth of damage sounds good. 5, 5, 1. Oh, it's only 3 points of damage, but 2 of them are effects. They have the effects of knockdown and vicious one. So those 3 points of damage is actually 5 points of damage. Oh, I'm getting echo again. Zinnia, I'm getting echo from you. Can you turn your mic off and back on again real quick for me?
Is that better?
No, you might have to disconnect and reconnect. That's what we've had to do a couple of the other times.
Wait a minute.
Sorry.
How's that?
Let's see. Much better. Sounds good. All right. There we go.
I just had to move my laptop. I guess it was sitting against the wall.
Gotcha. All right. So the knockdown effect. The attack knocks the target prone if one or more effects are rolled. The target may ignore this if they add 1 doom for each effect rolled, or in the case of non-player characters, at the cost of 1 doom per effect rolled. So, Thornicius, after falling off his back and rolling away, is clocked for 5 points of damage and knocked flat on his ass again. However, he does have armor, reducing that 5 points of damage. I believe his armor is 2. Yes, 2. So he actually only takes 3 points of damage. I will keep that marked down. 11, 10, 9, 8. I will mark that, though. All right. So, I forgot what it takes to stand back up. Abertac, will you look at that real quick so I can just keep the thing running? Do you have the player's guide, or Zang, do you have the player's guide? Just to double check, tell me what it takes to stand up after being knocked down, just because I can't remember and I want to keep the roll rolling.
Go ahead.
The next, in the point of view, in view in this glade was Zinnia, Thornicius, and Abertac. And then Zhang and Verai were still hidden, as well as Tiber and Corin were still hidden. So,
Goliath man. Oh, never mind.
oh, sorry. Boom, boom, boom. What did momentum and doom mean again? So one of the really neat things, about this Modifius system for Conan is it's supposed to be very like cinematic, kind of theatrical, right? So when the heroes are doing good, they do better. When the heroes are doing bad, they kind of do a little bit worse. So when it is a difficulty-based system, so you roll multiple 20-sided dice. The more dice that you roll, the more successes that you can get. Things have a different difficulty. So like a 1 difficulty is a pretty easy to roll. A 2 difficulty is a little bit more difficult. 3 difficult is very difficult. But if you have 1 difficulty and you roll 3 successes, you gain 2 points of momentum that you can then use to do things like gain extra dice on your next attack, or deal extra damage, get armor penetration, get a second attack, other just heroic action. And Doom is the NPC reverse that I get to use on the NPCs and opponents. The difference being, I just start with a set amount of Doom in a session, and I use that Doom down until it's out. But they can do things to give me more Doom. They earn momentum in each scene by their successes, but at the end of the scene, any unused momentum is lost. All right, so back to the fight. It was Thornicius, Abertac, and Zenus. So, Abertac, you are number 2. This second rock troll decides to swing. I am still getting a little bit of echo again, April. Yeah, I don't know if it's yeah. 2d20. Ooh, that is 2 successes on hitting you, Mr. Abertac.
All right.
Do you care to attempt to parry?
Yeah.
Parry away, my friend. 2 successes.
Yeah.
That is. Who is that? That is a 1, which is a critical success, and a 10. I'm assuming the 10 matches your parry.
Yes.
You have a parry of 13. So you have 3 successes versus the required 2 successes. You successfully knock his giant fist, arm, club, stone, rock thing away with your hammer, leaving a couple chips in the dirt while you do it, and generating 1 point of momentum for the party.
All right. I'm going to give you a point of doom to trigger my riposte skill.
Ooh, okay.
So I get to make a melee attack back at him.
You do get to make a melee attack. Hey Nat, again, I think the roll 20 isn't updating as I'm changing the numbers.
Yeah, I got a success and a complication.
A success and a complication.
Well,
Okay,
2
you're
successes.
you've got your great hammer though, right?
Yep.
All
2
right,
successes.
roll damage. Oh, did you say 2 successes?
Yeah, it's a 1 or a 3. It's under my.
Your melee
focus.
is. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Abertac. 3. Okay, so 2 successes, generating a second point of momentum. Would you like to use those points of momentum?
I am going to use that point of momentum to increase my viciousness on my weapon by 1.
It just takes 1 point of momentum?
Yep.
Okay.
Those ones.
So now you have vicious 3.
Yes.
Jeebs.
And I'll re-roll the 3 and the 4.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage. 3 of them being vicious. 3 times 3 is 9. So 16 points of damage. They have.
22, I think, right?
Yeah. 16 points of damage dealt. So is 13 after their armor because they have armor soak value of 3. That is 13 points of damage. Which one did you check? The one that's already injured?
One of the fresh ones. It's a riposte, so I have to hit the one.
Oh, that's right. So it's one of the fresh ones. All right, so you dealt more than 5 points of damage in a single attack. That is an injury. You dealt enough damage to bring his hit points to 0. That is a second injury. It is still standing.
Goliath said audio is lagging and ticking.
Audio is lagging in. Okay, never mind. I stopped. Yeah, it's doing that every now and then. But let us know if it happens again, Goliath. All right, so here's what happened. See, what had happened was Abertat comes rolling into the glade here. I'll save you, Thornicius! Swing and a miss. And as he's responding to the swing and a miss, the troll swings back around with the backhanded club, and Thornicius taps that arm up, swings around, and just goes for a massive full-body baseball swing, swinging his giant warhammer straight into the chest of this troll, just absolutely sending showers of shards and rocks and pebbles flying in all directions. Flint sparks, lights flash, and this rock troll just takes a massive amount of damage. So much damage, so in fact, when you clobber this thing, you ever like when you hit a baseball or hit something too hard and it like rattles your hands and it hurts your arms and hands so much from hitting it? It hurts your hands so much from the force of this blow that your hammer bounces off of him and like goes flying behind you, and your palms are bruised and battered from how hard you just slammed into this thing. But it is still, well, maybe not living, animated. We'll say it's still animated.
A second later, he goes. The hammer goes flying.
And finally, the third troll swings at Zinnia. The third troll swings at Zinnia. Is it me when I'm talking? Like, is it just that I'm going all agitated like? Let me turn the volume on, see if I can tell. I'm not hearing it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I might have to switch away from my Yeti microphone and just go to the laptop audio, because when I connect my Blue Yeti, yeah, it happens when I talk too loud. It's like I'm hitting too much of the gain on this Blue Yeti. And it's not doing it on my Windows box when I have it plugged into Windows, but when I use the Blue Yeti on my Chromebook, it's like the gain is maxing out, and then it starts getting all digitized and agitated and stuff. So that's what's going on here. It's my microphone. I might switch to a headset or something next week, or maybe just use the onboard. Yeah, it does it when I speak too loud and I max out the gain. I've got multiple headsets, but it ruins my beautiful hair.
May ruin your hair.
Shut up, Richard.
Did I catch a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
All right. Zinnia, you are getting clobbered at by this third giant stone troll. And it is coming at you with 0 successes, a swing and a miss. And you're just like, whoop, whoop. It's coming right at you, just like, look at that rock. That's some really nice striations on the rock of that fist. Yeah, I think I'm going to stab it right here next time. And that now leads to the party's turn. Who wants to go first? Abertat lost his hammer, and his hands hurt so much, it's like he just slapped a boulder as hard as he could.
Well, it's not looking good there. My hands are a little bit numb. That's the first time I
How
got
about
to
I
use that
throw my
repulsed talent. So.
So somebody,
How about I throw my chakra at him?
you're already standing close enough to use your swords, and you've got better damages on your swords because you're already in the glade.
Then I'll do my swords.
Do your swords! Yes!
Can I
Roll
spend
the attack roll. Which one of the trolls are you going to attack? There is the one that you already damaged last time. There is the one that Abertac just damaged a lot this time, and there is a third one that is undamaged.
the one Abertac damaged a lot? I want to get revenge.
All right. Roll me your 2d20 attack roll. Unless you want to spend the point to... Oh, that is a hit. That is a hit. Roll me for damage, and the damage on your swords are 5d6 with piercing 1.
Did you hear I want to use the fortune?
Oh, you're using on your... I don't think fortune really does anything on damage.
Oh.
It's for the attack roll. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, it's for the attack roll. But 1, 2, 3 points of damage, one of them being an effect.
Can I re-roll
so-
the threes? Or they go-
I believe so. Melee, no mercy. You can re-roll both of them. Yeah, re-roll away.
See, I'm starting to learn all these rules.
Yeah, you are. You got this, baby.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage now. One of them being piercing. So they have an armor of 3, which means you dealt 3 more points of damage. Since it is at 0 health and it has taken 2 injuries already, it now takes a 3rd injury, which is indeed enough to collapse this stone troll into a pile of rocks, pebbles, moss, and stone.
And you stay that way.
Collapses, and whatever was animating it dissipates. The other 2 stone trolls look very unhappy, if a stone can look unhappy, that is. They're almost more like golems than stone trolls, but...
I'm going to take my action retrieving his hammer for him.
Okay. Are you, like, going to step into the field and hand it to him, or are you going to, like, throw it at him?
I'm handing it
Because I
off.
would
I'm
love
not
for you
gonna
to throw it at
throw
him and roll me a throwing and don't get a critical failure.
No, he's not going to throw it. He's going to walk in and hand it off.
I said I'm not risking a throw.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. All right. So Abertac, your friend Zeng, sees your hammer landing practically at his feet, almost smashing into him. He's like, I got it! And he comes running back into the field with your hammer. Here you go!
Oh my gosh. So am I at a difficulty for my numb hands?
You are not Chris, the boulder punching Redfield. Yeah, for using your hands just for a turn, you're
Okay.
gonna have a 1 extra difficulty.
No problem. Is anybody else wanting to go next, or should I try another swing?
While he's running your hammer over to you, I'll take a shot as a cover fire.
With your bow?
Yeah, that's not my bow. I'm still undercover, so I'll take
The
a shot.
one that's already been chipped at, or the one that is not chipped at?
So the one that's been chipped at is the actually, yeah, the one that's been chipped at.
All right. It's taken 7 points of damage, but has no injuries because no single attack was more than 5 points.
Yeah, because he's a chump. All right, let's see here. Ranged.
But it doesn't know you're there, so it can't really respond. Although I don't know that these things are really smart enough to take active defense actions other than to soak. That is 1 success, which is all you need.
Okay.
And then for your damage on your hunting bow, that is 5d6 with a vicious 1 and unforgiving 1. And I always forget what unforgiving does.
I can
Oh, I opened the
reroll.
right page. Unforgiving. Oh, if they were affected by exploit. Yeah, okay.
Let me double check.
And then for your abilities, ranged may re-roll up
Yes.
to 2 of them.
Yep.
Good thing you only had 2 that were failures anyways. 6 and a 3. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 points of damage, 2 of them being effects. Those 2 effects being Vicious One brings you 2 more points of damage to a grand total of 6 points of damage. They have 3 armor. You don't have armor piercing. It takes another 3 points of damage, bringing its grand total points of damage dealt to 10 points of damage and no injuries. It is still churning.
Can I go next?
You were knocked down while you were away. Did you find the knockdown?
So, interestingly enough, the rules for when you're prone are under the action drop prone. So, long story short, while you're prone, you get bonuses against ranged attacks, but penalties when people are trying to attack you. It is a minor action to stand, losing all the benefits and disadvantages of being prone.
That's right, because you have one primary action, one minor action.
And
So
if you need
it is
to look at
your
it, it's under
minor
other
action.
combat actions if you need it.
Other combat actions.
Because I have the slim volume, I can't tell you the exact page, but
Right. Action sequences 113. 113. Okay. So Thornicius, your minor action to stand back up.
Oh, okay. And then I can attack?
And then you can still attack. You just can't use like any of your abilities that use a minor action.
Oh, I see. Let's see what I can do here then.
Minor action, standing from prone position. Yeah.
oh,
Pretty straightforward there. So, are you attacking?
Yes, I am definitely attacking. I'm just trying to see what I can use.
You are at point blank range with them. So your bow is a medium range bow. So there are two range increments beneath. You do have an ability that allows you to reduce that difficulty and range increment by 1, but it's so close, it's point blank range, it would add you 1 difficulty to use your bow at point blank.
But at this range, his acorns are saucepans. So
Yeah.
Okay, so I can still use hail of arrows, and I'll spend 1 load of my arrows and try and hit him twice.
Sorry, I don't hear the ticking. I probably got in too late to it. Hail of arrows. When you attempt it with the volley quality, you can spend a load to use the secondary target momentum spend. Does a momentum spend require a minor action? I don't think it does. Action scenes and momentum spends. And an action scene. Overcome enemies. The additional mean if you're not primarily focused on the cost column. Okay. I don't think it requires that. So yeah, I guess you can.
Woo! I think I got it. Yep, two successes. I think I got a 16.
You have a 16 or 15 in your ranged?
Oh yeah, I bumped that sucker.
Oh, you have a 16 in your ranged. Holy cow. You're putting a lot of points in that, sir.
Yep, I am extremely good at one thing.
Okay. Well, you needed 2 successes because of the difficulty, so roll for damage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage.
I can re-roll the 2 3s.
Reroll the 2 3s. 8 and 9 points of damage, 4 of them being effects. The effect on your bow is piercing, so that is enough to completely negate its health. Or negate its armor. So 8 points of damage. That is more than 5 points of damage dealt. That is a wound. You brought it down to 0 health. That is another wound. It has 2 wounds, and yet it is still standing. I
Just
believe
hip
Abercrombie-
swipe it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like flick its nose, and over it goes.
Is it back to me?
It is just you left. I guess Tiber and Corn I could use in though too. So
You know, I didn't even want to fight these things. I tried to hide.
Corn can run in for you. He's brave enough. He'll do it.
That's 2 successes. I'm at a penalty of 1, so I think I still hit.
Yep, that is still a success. That is still a hit. Roll damage. And don't roll nothing but 3s. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. That is enough points of damage without having to re-roll a thing. You smash it into rocks, stones, pebbles, shards, and moss. Whatever powers that be animated it have now dissipated. There is one more rock troll left who's got his eyes on you there, Abertac. You specifically. So much so that I'm using an extra point of doom to roll 3 die 20 at hitting you.
I guess I did that.
That is 2 successes on its attempt to smash you with this giant rocky stone arm thing.
I guess I should at least attempt to parry here.
You have.
Yeah, I have the I have the
see.
parry skill. It gives me 1 free one.
Deflection. There we go. Sorry, your sheet's a little bit different than the rest of them. You've got things written odd.
Oh.
I'll fix that later. Uh, 11 and 12 with a parry of 13. That equals 2 successes. You successfully parry 2 successes with 2 successes. Barely parrying that. As you grab the hammer back from your friend, it's almost knocked out of your hands again by just that split second pinging up to get that, just to get the big giant arm smashy stone thing from smashing into you. That now leaves it back to the party's turn. I don't really feel like forcing us to go through another round because I know that you guys will do enough damage to smash it, and it doesn't have a riposte ability of its own to deal counter damage. Between the 5 of you, you're going to deal enough damage in a turn to break it down.
Thank goodness.
So,
Thank goodness.
so these 3 stone trolls that were sitting in this nice, quiet, safe, comfortable glade have now been turned to rocks, stones, shards, and moss. Somebody threw scissors when I threw rocks.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I'm using their remains to make a fire pit.
Sure. Yep.
Just
Now that those are not there, the glade itself seems very calm, very just like a perfect little campsite, protected from the elements, a little warmer actually, because the wind isn't blowing at you so much. There's shade, there's cover, birds, those giant vicious multicolored bird things can't see you in here. Anything too large couldn't even get through the trees, theoretically speaking.
sounds good. Sounds like a great place to make. Now it looks like a good place to make camp.
Now, indeed. You rest up, take camp here?
Yeah,
Is anybody going on watch?
yeah. I'll go on watch.
All right, you're taking first watch. Who takes second? He's taking second. All right. So, as per my usuals, I'm going to do some random encounters here just because this place is so much more dangerous than most places. So, I need a number from you between 1 and 12.
11.
11! I rolled an 11.
Son of a gun.
But that's
Actually, that's a good thing. So if we match numbers, a good thing happens. If you're one off on either direction, a bad thing happens, which is why it's twice as likely for a bad thing to happen as a good thing to happen. So in this case, a good thing happens. Let's see, what sort of good thing is going to happen?
A little fairy comes and talks.
Well, there's a nice gentle rain coming down. This nice gentle rain that's coming down, and while you're there, you see like some bioluminescence. As the night falls and some of the water drips into things, you see some bioluminescence glowing under this in these tree canopies in this little glade here. Some of the you don't know if they're bugs or plants or something, just glowing creatures. Yeah. It's been raining. Right now it's a nice soft rain. But yeah, some little like glowworms are kind of scattered throughout the tree boughs and on some of the rocks and glades. And you see some of them move and converge. And as you take a closer look at where like more of them seem to be, you find a nice pile of delicious little morel mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
Immoral mushroom.
do you mean moral mushrooms, or is this a specialty morale mushroom?
So do the worms
I'll make
taste
this-
good
I
too?
don't know how to spell it. I hate mushrooms.
I like immoral mushrooms.
I was just wondering if it was like hey, this is going to improve your morale.
I mean, I hear people tell me that morel mushrooms improve morale. That's what I'm told. They give you great energy.
Well, I'll pick the morel mushrooms, and I guess that's all I need to do. Take those back to
Yeah.
camp, cook them up later. Mm-hmm.
All right, second watch. Veri, I need a number between 1 and 12. 2, he says.
And
And 12 I roll, meaning it is a quiet watch. Nothing happens. So it is now morning. Everybody feels surprisingly just well rested. One of the most well rested that you've been in what feels like weeks. A little hungry, but very well rested.
And then the smell of morels.
There is a nice soft like water and rain kind of dripping through the boughs, but the way this glade was set up somehow, all of that water and rain seemed to like drip away from the middle of the glade. It's very moist, but it didn't actually really rain on you through the night. You do hear a wind through the trees, though. So it's morning. Everybody wakes up.
Yep, I start breakfast. I'll start
With
like
fresh mushrooms.
yeah, cooking some fresh mushrooms.
Immoral
Mushrooms.
mushrooms.
Apparently, Thornicius found fresh mushrooms while he was on watch last night and had a beautiful bioluminescent view that he likes to tell all of you guys about that you missed. Ha ha! Sucks to be you!
I even wrote my name in bug guts. It's glowing over there.
Oh, God. Glowworm.
So you guys have a nice breakfast. It's pretty much the last of your supplies. It would have been the actual last of your supplies, except he found some mushrooms. But you have a nice little breakfast. Got a little bit of supplies left over. He did collect water overnight, so all of your water pouches are full at least.
Cool.
Aren't you a good person?
Yeah, I'm a good guy.
Let's eat.
Off we go. We eat,
All right.
and then off we go.
All right.
into the world yonder.
So you guys pack up camp and get ready to head out. There's actually like an opening in the glade, kind of to the southeast, that you didn't notice the night before. Like, I mean, I guess maybe you just weren't really looking for it, but there's an actual opening on the southeast there, which is the direction that you're trying to go and looking for footprints at.
Okay. Guess do a search that way and see if we can pick anything up.
Observation, please. Or sorry, survival, please. Oh, Jo, do you care which? Well, okay, random PC. All right, let's roll 1d5. Number 2. Hey Zhang.
Oh shit.
Hey Zhang. After breakfast, you feel a little funny, little stretchy, a little tired, a little. You remember how when you were a kid and you had growing pains because your legs were growing too fast? All of a sudden, you feel that everywhere. And dear party, after eating a little bit of breakfast and those mushrooms that you got up, Thornicius, Zhang begins to grow and stretch
Oh dear.
and start to rip through his nice fancy Katani robes.
Oh no.
He pulls out
I
and go.
pull my armor off.
I'll keep his armor nice and safe for him.
It now stretches out to be over 11 feet tall,
Ooh.
with little but a loincloth still fitting around him of what used to be his robe.
Oops.
Just what kind of mushrooms did you pick?
One. What was it? One mushroom makes you small. One makes you tall. One doesn't do anything at all.
He must have smeared the bug guts into it.
Hey
Ba-da-ba-da.
guys, I rumble at them.
You are now large, not very clothed. It is cold. As you leave the glade, it is very cold. It is very windy, and it is raining a foul-smelling, vicious water storm.
At least
Now,
he
why
should
do
have
you
a
hope
good vantage
Giant
point.
fighting
Did you
trolls.
say I was 11 feet tall?
Yeah, about 11 feet tall.
You should have a good
Yeah.
vantage point now.
Behind us, right?
Why do you want to stare up at his balls?
No, we want to be behind us so that we're not staring up at his balls.
You know you got a bald spot down there.
He can see
I
them.
don't have any
Did
bald
you roll your
spot up there.
perception for me, Thornicius?
Say again?
Did you roll your survival skill?
I think yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that 19 and the 6?
So yeah.
Okay. Well, one success is enough. Here at the edge of this glade, you almost immediately spot a very clear trail, a set of tracks. It looks to be a small number of people, something between like 3 and 6 people, with one of them carrying some sort of sled, dragging some sort of sled behind him, a weighted sled even. Very common to the type that hunting parties might use to bring animals that they have hunted back.
Mm-hmm.
And it is heading in the southeast in a fairly clear direction since they started dragging a sled.
Okay, guys. That way then. That's the way that they went, and I'm guessing that's the way we should go.
That's the way that they went, baby.
Are they going my way?
But you know, it is a good day. You guys rested well. You got kind of a newfound sense of confidence, faith in your decision. Things are going to go well. Things are going to go good. What could go wrong on this rainy, windy day, other than your friend doubling in size? But other than that,
What could go wrong?
Feels great.
When,
Good mushrooms. Good
now we
breakfast.
have an aggro tank. We don't have to worry about getting attacked.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be attacking our giant. So.
Well, I guess this would give me a boost to my scaring attack.
One would think so.
I am gonna modify that just a little bit, otherness, when you say until they suffer a later injury. we'll say until the end of the end of the session, basically, or they suffer an injury. Because to be honest, Zhang has only been hit twice in the year and a half that we've been playing. Maybe 3 times in the year and a half that we've been playing.
I'm not exactly a close range fighter.
Yeah, he doesn't get into the fight. He stays back, and
let my
he
minions-
inspires.
He's also hoarding the best armor in the group.
He leads from the rear.
Definitely leads from the rear now. His rear leads him.
The cold weather is its own challenge to your giant naked body. Yes, it is very, very cold. Very, very cold. Verai does have Doom armor. Actually, let's see if it's the same. It's basically the same quality. No, his. So we call Zhang this emissary, and he's the soft, squishy, very well-spoken, like diplomat, ambassador, cunning, conniving, charmer, glad-hander. But let's be clear. He is walking around in like a set of royal armor.
Was
I will need it back.
Like we're talking silvered and steeled and ornate and animals shaped into it and crafted by a master Katani craftsman as befitting the station of an official emissary and ambassador from Katai. I mean, this guy is armored like a tank with little teeny weeny spaghetti noodle arms and a cat of nine and a sword shaped like a cat of 9 tails.
And a good diaphragm.
Brawn is at a 10. I'm average.
Your brawn is 10? Okay. You don't have spaghetti arms.
I'm not a noodle arm guy. Like I went through some physical training to get here. Not much, but
Whereas Verai is running around with this breastplate with some straps over made of rusted, scrapped, solid space steel.
But I feel it
Got
out.
shoulder pads out to here.
and boobs out to here.
And boobs out to here. Because somehow this magic Doom plate armor, it now is Doom boob plate armor.
Well, it's got a bag of holding over each breast.
The boobs.
The party continues onward, following these very clear tracks. You continue through the mountains. For a while, you kind of follow a stream. You follow these tracks through skirting another little set of woods up on the side of this mountain, and it leads generally mostly downwards, but deeper and deeper into the mountains. Not closer to the front, deeper into the mountains. But it seems like it's generally going into like the valley side. However, even after a full day of following these tracks, you still have not made it to a destination yet.
Are we even sure they were?
However, it was a very, very wet, soggy, cold day, and I'm going to need resistance checks from everybody.
So are we even sure these hunters we're following were headed back home?
Are we sheltered underneath the giant shadow of an 11-foot giant behind us?
I mean, everyone else just needs 1 success. He needs 2.
I rolled an 8 and a 2. I'm pretty sure I got that.
No touch.
Sounds like you did to me. Because your resistance is a 10.
So yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
In
All right,
far
Vera, you
this is
succeeded at your
nothing.
resistance. Thornicius, you succeeded at your resistance.
I succeeded, we got a complication.
Succeeded and a complication. Well, you stay warm,
You know
but
what?
you
I
catch
can
the
re-roll that
sniffles.
with my hardy,
You can re-roll a resistance check?
my hardy talent.
Really? Man.
He gets another shot.
I don't see a hardy talent.
It throws.
Oh, I see a hardy talent.
Yep.
Found it. Okay, fine. Everybody succeeds at their resistance check. You're cold, wet, soggy, and grumpy, but nobody gets sick from the rain.
Yay.
To be fair,
And surprisingly,
Sarai and I, had this weather much worse than this when there was like blood lightning coming down at us. So,
although, to be fair, it's kind of surprising that the rain didn't wash away these tracks. They seem to be well-trod paths that you're beginning to follow, and the farther you go, the more it seems to be a well-trod path, not just tracks.
Okay. Keep an eye out for any opportunities to hunt deer or any other small animals that.
I mean, you could stop the party and go hunting.
I don't want to stop. I just want to, as we go, either forage or find a chance.
If you want to move at half speed for the day, you could do that.
Okay. How about if only I move half speed, everybody else moves, and then I'll just catch up at night?
I mean, if you want to get left alone for the day in the dangerous mountains, that's up to you.
Nah, I guess I can't do that.
you could.
Let's split the party! 2 Christmases!
We can slow down if there are opportunities for wildlife that we might be able to like get some food out of it. We can slow the party. That way we can extend our energy a little bit as well.
And you are basically out of supplies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So if that's cool, the party is going to go move at half speed for the day. Roll a survival check and see how well you are gathering food as you go.
Ooh, very well.
Now the ranger comes back.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
see. That's 3 successes, ladies and gentlemen. He rolled a 2 and a 4. That's 3 successes right there. As you guys, are you guys hungry for fish? Goliath says. You want some calamari? Goliath says.
I think we're sick of fish.
But we could take it and put it in a bag and cook it later for dinner.
Yeah. So, as the party is traveling, you find this area to be rich in both game and edible plants. You find berries, you find a patch of like wild carrots out there, as well as you get some like small game, like a couple of rabbits. You didn't really have time to find big game, but you did get some small game.
Okay, cool.
Certainly enough to provide a bountiful food for a day or 3.
All right, and then at night we'll cook up the food and divvy it up or we'll do whatever we need to do to somebody got some salt. We'll take some salt and rub down the meat. That way it doesn't go bad so quickly. That kind of thing.
Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me check this. Available. Okay, that is... All right. Well, so far, it's only been 1 redeem bad weather there, Goliath. A second one would indeed bring a squiddy rain. At least squid ink rain. Yeah, so the bad weather on the previous session, they weathered most of it out in the cave, and then they had a nice day. And then they were going to have a few more nice days, and now they're raining cold and wet and have to make resistance checks versus getting the cold. Also, it's slippery and wet and painful for them if they were to try to do any dangerous terrain movement and have to make acrobatics checks to keep from falling down, because it's slippery and wet now. And there it is at last. The second bad weather. But tisk. Ladies and gentlemen, the weather on these mountains, to say is unpredictable would be an understatement. You can't even predict, you can't even begin to tell what's going to be a good day, what's going to be a bad day, because it can be looking beautiful, and then 5 seconds later, there is a crack of thunder and rain, and all of a sudden, now it's been wet. It's been raining. It's been windy. It's been miserable. But now, right as you start to make camp, right as you start to be like, right as you start to be like, here, let me make a little fire pit and cook some of these rabbits that I killed. Right as that, you smell some familiar stench.
Oh
As
no.
whatever deity or cosmic horror has it out for you guys finds you once again. And in the middle of all of this rain and wind, there begins to fall tiny little chunks of rubbery strips of white meat with little suction cups on one side. And when they hit the ground, they wriggle around at your feet for a few seconds before dissipating. When they land on your arms, they stick themselves to your arm for a few seconds before dissipating into a stinchy, sulfurous fume.
Can
Yum.
we cook them?
Unfortunately, they keep dissipating before too long. Tonight just went from bad to really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is ruining the flavor of those rabbits. Every time one of those lands on your rabbit, you can almost see the rabbit turning black.
Ugh.
A giant 11-foot tall dude, can you just like hover over top the flame so we don't ruin our food?
Okay.
Just try not to get your balls in the
Really?
Oh, God. I'm trying to cook here. Do you mind?
Hygiene.
He just looks at you disgusted, be like, really? Really? So a miserable night ensues where nobody's going to get a good night's sleep because of the smell and the solid sound of thunking. Like, you've got to tarp up to get yourself covered from the rain, and just the whole night you hear thunks as it lands on the tarps. I don't recommend catching them in your mouths like snowflakes, but you're welcome to try. Does anybody wish to find out what that would be like?
Oh,
No.
No, nobody wants to say "ah" to the suckling tentacles.
No.
No, it's that Bugs Bunny. No.
No.
I can taste the expiration date.
And because it's so miserable out, I'm not even going to say that creatures are out. They too are hiding from the rain. So there's not going to be any random encounter rolls tonight, but I'm still going to assume it's you and him on watch the first two shifts, the same two every time, as everyone else gets to sleep the whole night through. Well, gets to attempt to sleep the whole night through. Come morning, the awful tentacliness rain has mostly gone away. Every now and then, right as you don't expect it, one falls and like lands on your face or something. But the tentacly rain has mostly gone away by the next morning. It is still wet and miserable and windy, but the bad weather is starting to dissipate. However, every last one of you is tired, soggy, cold. At best, you look like a soaked cat, a drowned cat at best. Any food that you made last night did not taste awesome.
Oh well. It was worth a try. All right.
Do we? Well, so if we travel at half pace again today, with it just being covered in nastiness, are we expecting to find any good food like we did yesterday, or do we
He
want to
could
just?
roll another survival check. It does seem like most of the animals are tucked in away from the weather, but if you know where to look, they got to be somewhere, right? Just stick your hand in the badger den. See what you find.
Yeah, right.
Badger.
Mushroom.
One success.
So as you're moving at half pace and trying to forage, you do indeed find some foraging material. Not a lot, but you find enough to make certain that nobody goes hungry. Well, let me rephrase that. You find enough to make certain that nobody goes too hungry. You get some berries, you get some nuts, you get some edible barks and grass.
Edible bark.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
You just crumble it up and use it as a filler. It is a non-nutritive food additive substance.
Great. And you're saying an MRE then.
A non-nutritive food additive. It helps your cornflakes stay crusty.
Yummy. All right.
I like my reference. I don't think anybody else got it, though.
I don't think I got it. No.
No. What's funny is the last time I saw the movie was actually with you at Little Billy's.
Oh, really?
What?
I don't know.
Christmas Vacation. The main guy, he's a scientist at the food company where he's making
Right.
that non-stick, non-nutritive food additive that prevents the water from soaking into the cornflakes.
Right. Now I remember.
But so the next day, it gets on into mid to late day. And up ahead, you do indeed see a sign of civilization as you get into the late day here. You see what appears to be a very intentional, very thick hedge wall.
Hedge. How tall is this hedge wall?
Your height ranging between 10 and 15 feet.
Oh, I'll look over the 10-foot section of it just to see. It's on the inside.
Your friendly giant takes a couple steps down the way and peers his head over.
Jeez.
What is that?
I have encountered
That was my phone. Sorry, gentlemen.
That was quite loud.
Yeah.
It was right. It was right beside the computer.
So you stick your head over this big, tall, thick, brambly hedge, and you see what Tiber said was the hunting cabin that he summered at one year when he was a kid. You're pretty certain that's what he was talking about. However, this is no cabin. This is a very large stone-built manor house with a couple of other smaller buildings around it. Inside a multi-acre, you see that this hedgerow surrounds a multi-acre area with this large house. You see piazzas and gardens and statues and fountains around this house. This manor, if you will. But you do see an opening in the hedgerow over there.
which I will
Okay.
point out to everyone and say, hey, we seem to have arrived at our destination.
Why don't you ask if this matches his armor?
Tiber says, "Oh my god, I totally forgot about this. That's right, he did have this huge bramble. It's kind of terrifying, isn't it? Like this bramble, as you look closer, is thorny, like rosebush thorn brambles. There's spikes all into it. It is thick. Like if you were to try to get through this, you would be cut to ribbons unless you were spending hours trying to cut it down just to move through this bramble.
Probably jump over it.
We're getting feedback on the microphone again.
I think it might be your fan.
No, it's your voices.
All right. Well, we're going to head for the entry and see what we see on the other side.
All right. You guys head for the opening in the bramble bush, and as you come around to the wide entryway there, you see there is a bramble arch over the thing that's somewhat decorative, even in a thorn-like fashion. And through it, the rest of you see what I previously described of this giant multi-story stone manor with piazzas and gardens and statues and fountains. As you get closer, you see someone up in the distance near the house that looks to be gardening or something. You see a couple of people, a couple of guys in some sort of watch hut maybe that's near the entrance, but they're just kind of sitting around a fire and they're staring at you, but they're not even trying to stop you from coming in.
Cool. So, was it Corin or was it the other gentleman?
Tiber Dairn was the one that summered here one time, and he snuck away with the household staff's kids for several days. And they never even made a searching party to find him. And two, when he returned, the head of the household whipped the staff and the staff children as punishment for abducting a child of a guest.
Okay.
How'd you do?
I was going to say, Typer, why don't you introduce yourself? But this might not be a good time.
It is.
I mean, his family is welcome here. That's why he was here, because theoretically, his family has relations here or has chosen to visit here, at least in the past. But he was a kid and doesn't really know why or when or, the details around it all. So.
Okay, smokers. So why don't Tiber go in and make his hellos, and that way we can get an easier.
You guys are still.
You're just sending him in alone.
You're still echoing.
Go, Tiber. We'll stand here and wait.
Follow him in, I guess. We're gonna let
They
him
want
move.
somebody to prepare them for the 11-foot-tall naked noble Kitani. So Tiber and Corin can probably do that well.
And what's funny is the two guys sitting there see this and don't really seem to care. So is part of the party going forward, or just sending Tiber forward, or please explain to me.
Forward first.
On his own.
Why wouldn't we? We're recruits.
I'm just trying to make sure that none of you are going to go with him. Okay.
Yes, I'll
I'm
go with him. I will go with him.
monstrosity right now. I'm gonna hold back.
Yeah.
Me and
So-
Vera can go with
Send the ladies in.
Send all the single ladies.
Yeah.
All the single ladies.
All the single ladies. Put your hands up.
All right. So Verai, Zinnia, and Tiber head forward.
Get the girls in order.
Chest up, shoulders back. Oh, y'all might smell like fishmongers. Just try and look prettier than you smell.
All of you guys look like drowned cats and smell even worse.
So we look good for this neck of the woods, is what you're saying.
Right?
You got something going for you.
As the three of you get closer to the house, you see that as you come up to the front of the house, you see that one servant who is indeed, gardening, like taking care of some yard work or something. I need an observation check from one of you two. I don't care which one.
Oh, go ahead.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I guess she's doing it. So that's one success and one
Do
complication.
you have sharp senses?
Do you have sharp senses? He says.
Yeah.
She does. She can reroll the
Reroll
20.
that 20.
Yes, reroll that 20.
Yeah, reroll the 20. It's hard for me to figure out a complication on this. Good enough. So you
Saved you
went
from a
from,
problem.
you
Thanks,
went from
Bear.
one success to two successes. One success in complication to two successes, which is excellent. So as you get closer, a couple of things that you notice. One, this beautiful manor home with the piazzas and the tiles and the gardens and the fountains shows signs of neglect and disrepair. The tiles are cracked. There are weeds growing between the tiles. The fountains don't have running water in them. The signs of neglect and disrepair. Not excessive, not like the place is abandoned or something, but obviously that whoever is here cares more about having the things than maintaining the things, or doesn't care at all, or something. And the gardener that you saw, the one doing the gardening and the landscaping, is a Darfari, which I'm going to pause for 1 second. Chat and team, I need to make a caveat, a bit of a disclaimer here. So, and this is important, this is serious. The world of Conan is one steeped in slavery, racism, sorcery, other horrible aspects, and it helped inspire and define the pulp genre of its time. But it is also a product of its author and its time, Robert E. Howard, coming from the 20s, living through the Dust Bowl down in Texas. So the world of Conan exhibits and is in large part demonstrated by things such as racism and slavery in this instance. There's also a lot of, not caricatures, not parodies, free prejudice. The thing when you assume something about somebody based on common tropes about them. And I'm blanking on the word that I'm looking for. Preconceptions, to be polite. We'll go with preconceptions.
Stereotypes and biases.
Stereotypes.
Biases and preconceptions, yes. There are several nations in the state, in this, and they are almost all kind of an analog of some different state in history. For example, Aquilonia is, your kind of Greece sort of thing. Corinthia is an ancient Rome. Zingara is like Spain. Stygia is like an old Egyptian thing. But there also existed a lot of African nations that kind of got bundled together and generally were not very healthily represented. One of those African nations is Darfur. Darfur is kind of that 1920s Hollywood trope of the tribals with the skull masks, and they razor down their teeth into sharpened spikes, and they're cannibals, and they basically want nothing more than to raid and eat people because they're evil black people from Africa, basically. And again, this is the world that is inhibiting. So when as I note some of the races and the ethnicities of these people, I want you to keep in mind there's a reason I'm noting them for some of these characters. In this instance, this gardener that you see is a Darfari, what would generally be a cannibal. You also note that he has loose chains wrapped around his feet. He is wearing very thin clothing for how cold the environment is, and the only thing he has for warmth is a tattered woolen cloak. He is obviously not being paid. He is a slave that has been taken from Darfur. In a moment, I will be introducing a couple of other characters. One of them is, I believe, a Kushite, which is another African nation analog. I mean, just so you guys know, Robert E. Howard wasn't always super creative with his names. Like, one of the nations here that's a little farther to the east is literally called Afghanistan. Afghanistan.
So as we're making our way around these grounds, can I be taking note and observing the security presence and the extent of the slave presence?
So at the time, you've only seen the 3 people, the 2 near the front, and this one slave doing half-ass yard work.
Fair. Okay. Continuing.
And you move up to the front door. The 3 of you move up to the front door. Tiber grabs the handle so that the front door has this large brass knocker on it.
Sorry, we're still getting a lot of microphone feedback, guys. From
Yeah, April, we're getting some feedback there.
I'm fairly certain it's the fan. Thank you.
As you move up to this door, there's a large brass knocker in the shape of a bear head. So, like, in the bear's mouth is the ring, and then you ring it by, grabbing this ring with the thumper and the knocker underneath it and slamming on the brass pad there. I hear a washing machine? Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. So yeah, you hear, so Tiber bangs on the knocker a couple of times. I'm still waiting for it. Nobody here has said what lovely knockers yet.
I said huge knocker.
On that one.
Muted. And I was just like,
It's too easy.
It is, I know, but I just wanted to respond with, "Oh, thank you, Doctor." Anyways, after a few moments, a very elderly gentleman, well-dressed, if a very out-of-date attire, opens the door. A wiry old man. Where was his name? There we go. A wiry old man wearing an out-of-date but immaculate outfit, uniform, apparently. But his gaze is anything but out of date as he looks at the 3 of you over very intently, with a scowl on his face. And yes, he says. Tiber's like, he basically takes one sniff and looks at you and just looks at you in disgust. Tiber says, we're here for shelter and rest from the elements, respite from the elements. My name is Tiber Dairn. son of Isaac Darren the third, or Isaac Darren the senior. I believe you know my father. He has stayed here before. And the butler pauses just for a moment and kind of stares and doesn't say anything. And then he opens the door and says, "Enter here and wait, please. I shall fetch the Nimrod." He does a couple of, he rings a bell, snaps a couple of times, and a pair of Cushite house slaves appear. Two male house slaves, also dark of skin, also chained, but wearing slightly more clothes than the one outside. However, nothing they're wearing seems to provide any warmth from the actual elements. It would be hard-pressed for them to survive in the mountains without better cover, without better clothing. Oh, woo! Who needs a hand? I don't need a hand. I just am an arm. A few moments later, this butler returns with a portly old man who has an eye patch over one eye, and the other eye is just milky white and obviously not seeing through it. He is wizened and aged. He kind of looks like he's made of shoe leather and spots. Wearing very immaculate but very dated attire. He also looks like he's tough as shoe leather as well. And probably about as charming as shoe leather. He walks up. He's got kind of frazzled hair. You can see like his hand shaking. And he walks up, not necessarily being led by the butler, but obviously the butler's not far away from him. He says, I am the Nimrod. Welcome. May I ask your business here? Are you just going to let Tiber do it and have me talk to myself for a while?
Well,
lot more
really, he's
sense
the
for
one
Tiber
with
to
the
do it.
ability that people know. So, yeah, he should be doing the talking.
All right. Well, then I guess the GM gets to talk to the GM for a while. Okay. Whether the weather shall be pleasant. Whether the weather shall be pleasant. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Tiber says, good master of the hunt, good master of the hunt. I am Tiber Darren, son of Isaac Darren the Elder. I stayed here many years ago when I was but a child. And the Nimrod says, it wasn't that many years ago. Isaac Darren the Elder was here. And Tiber says, I guess to you it might not have been. To me it was half a lifetime. Child, please get to the point before I lose my patience. Why are you upon my doorstep? He says, well, we're looking for shelter and rest and provisions for a journey that we're on, a mission. We've been tasked with a mission for my father, and it brought us to these parts around here. It brought us nearby, and decided that to visit here would be a good place for us to regather ourselves and our supplies and rest. We've got some wounded among us. And you decide to come here unannounced, unpresented. unwashed, without your father, or even a message from your father, and you seem like prey fleeing from the storm rather than as hunters mastering it.
Well, we do have 11-foot emissary outside that, you can definitely see that we're not prey.
You bring me an offering of an unknown creature? Now this I find interesting.
Not quite an offering, but
Has he been subdued? Is it a cadaver? Or do I have a live gift?
Well, he's not quite a live gift.
That talks
He's
an
a-
awful big talk for somebody in warhammering distance.
Yeah.
He's not in warhammering distance from you, sir.
You're outside.
I hit through.
He just had some mushrooms that altered his appearance.
So he is quite tall. Tall enough to reach the top of your bramble bushes, in fact. Naked as a wild man, also, but still pretty tame. Currently, he's unrestrained, very much conscious. He's as long as we don't spook him, he doesn't get flustered.
You see an actual hint of smile in his face, of excitement even.
Michael, looks like we're selling it.
trading. We're trading you.
Might I ask, noble Nimrod?
This is not the island of Dr. Moreau, is it?
As we mean no disrespect
If
by stopping by uninvited.
what are the conditions of the hunt here?
Every hunt is special. That's what's glorious about a hunt. One may never know how they shall shake down, the dangers one might face. Very well. I accept your offering in return for shelter and respite.
I think at this point, Abertax have enough shit out of this guy.
You're not there. You are outside at the
I
hedge.
thought I was
Only the
entering.
three of them went forward, as I
All
explicitly
right,
asked.
I'll wait outside.
I asked several times, and you all said only Zinnia and Verai were going forward with Tiber. I asked several times. Very well, I accept your offering to the hunt in return for rest, respite, and provisions. I see you have your father's gifts for diplomacy, young Tiber.
Might I ask two things? First, where would you like us to put our large friend until such time as a hunt comes?
Tough. Send somebody to guide them to the barn, please.
And then second, is it possible to get a servant just to assist us in getting cleaned up to be in proper fashion for you?
You shall be provided for this gift that you provide, the gift that you have offered to me.
Right.
Hmm.
Thank you so much.
Just know we're taking the gift back when we leave.
Tiber is looking at the two of you like, you're crazy?
Huh?
What the fuck, guys?
Shh. Just go with it.
Play along.
Come on, Tiber. Let's go tell the party what's going on.
So you just kind of
Tiber, let us go allow our companions, a reprieve from the watering and the raining and the storm, and let's go get our large naked quarry into the barn. Post haste.
The butler whispers something into the Nimrod's ears. The Nimrod mumbles something back for a moment, and then basically just slowly turns and starts grumbling away from you without another word. Teth looks at you and says, Tiber and company, you two, see them to the lounge. I pray that you will be so kind as to stay in the lounge until your quarters can be cleaned and prepared for you.
Sure, can we let the rest of the party come in?
I'll send somebody for them. The Nimrod does not like interruptions or to his schedule or surprises, of which you are both. So, please adjourn to the lounge and we shall have your quarters prepared for you soon. You two, see it done. And the two house slaves guide you down, the three of you down the hallway. Well, one of the house slaves guides you three down the hallway. I will get back to that in a moment. For the rest of you that are outside, waiting at the entrance to the manor, at the entrance to the hedge, out from the manor and moving at you with some haste, faster than a walk, but obviously not like a run or anything, is a Cushite, a dark-skinned person that as they get closer you see is wearing chains around their ankles and is not in cold weather mountain attire. Looks like they're wearing clothing that is only good for being inside anyways, and no shoes. And they come out to you guys out there. As he gets close, he's got a very scared look in his face, like he's terrified, and then he rounds the corner and sees your naked giant and exclaims something in a language that none of you understand, but you can all pretty much take the point of holy shit. He says, that one's going to make, and then he says in Aquilonian, or sorry, in Ophiran, which most of you can understand, some of you fully understand at this point. That one is going to make the Nimrod very happy. Please come with me. I shall take you to the barn where we may restrain it until the hunt.
What do you mean it?
Oh my god, it talks too!
Why did we let Vera go in there?
Because I did not wish to scare our benefactors.
Well, it looks like we're gonna end up
Is that a
killing people. It looks like we're gonna end up killing people now.
Yes, I am human, merely under the influence.
Well,
of
let's not go
interesting-
that far. But
More human than you are, you heathen, barbarian.
He looks both terrified and confused, and says, either way, please come with me so that we may restrain the person giant.
he's not going to be restrained at like. Do you know where the nearest cult of Solapepa is?
Huh?
Never mind.
If I may, I fear there may have been a misunderstanding wrought by my minions.
This is why nobody
They
else.
didn't look like slaves, and you don't look like a master.
My current condition is new, and I did not have time to have proper clothing prepared.
Well, I was told to take you to the barn for restraints.
Well, good for you.
Perhaps you should fetch someone a little higher up on your Bad experience.
I think you should just come with me, and then they can clear things up.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. The barn is just over here on the side of the manor.
Again, I don't think I'll be joining you at the bar.
That's what I was told to do.
At this point, Amortype just starts walking towards the main door.
I thought.
No, you can't you can't. I was told. And as he starts waving his hand and looking like he's starting to panic a little bit, now the two people that weren't doing anything stand up and start to walk over.
Sit down if you don't want to die.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
And he pulls his warhammer. He's like, sit down if you don't want to die. I've had enough of this shit.
That would, I believe, be a persuasion check.
More like intimidate, but I don't
Or
have
a command. Actually, that would probably be closer to a command than a persuasion.
I don't have either of those skills, so try it.
I'd like to assist.
Fortune!
Fortune.
I will spend a fortune point.
You're going to spend a fortune point. Would you like to roll on top of that
No.
fortune point?
No, I would not.
No,
not
no,
pull
you
the
would not like to. You learned that lesson, huh?
Yeah, do not pull my my hijinks.
Learned that lesson. Very well. 2 successes does indeed intimidate them back down. They're like, yeah, don't want to fuck with the giant and that guy.
I was just gonna
Right over there.
sit there. You're just gonna go to the door. And Vera, Xenia, what the fuck did you do?
So the three of you, and you're saying this as you're moving towards the manor, right?
Yes.
So the three of you that are in the manor, or to the 2 players, the slave takes you to the lounge where there are several people, and I will explain the people here momentarily. But before you even get situated and handed a drink, you hear from the windows, there's an open window, a little chilly in here, but there's a big fire too. You hear your compatriot, Abertac, "There, what the fuck did you do?"
And the sound of Thornicius kind of chuckling in the background.
I'm just gonna stand here and wait for them by the fire.
You yell it, but nothing seems to happen. You go to the front doors, I take it? What's the rest of the party?
Yep.
Okay, you get to the front door. They are closed and sealed, but there is a giant knocker of a bear head with a ring that you can knock and bang on. All of this time, that slave is still trying to be like, please, go, let me, we can clear it up, but please, please. He is looking very terrified, and not necessarily just of you at this point.
Why don't you open the door since you were?
So I was observing a lot of like screaming, commotion from outside. Am I hearing anything else? Like the sound of additional forces?
You hear the sound of your party grumbling, but it's not clear. And you don't see them through the window. The window's on the side of the manor.
Right. No, I heard the shouting from outside, right?
Yes.
And I'm just hearing commotion, but not really like. Am I hearing anything else from the inside of the house, like the shuffling of a whole bunch of like people with armor?
No, you do not hear signs or threats of combat, other than some of the people in this room are starting to get interested. And again, I will get to exactly who they are in a moment. But at this time, it's not important until this little bit is resolved.
Okay.
They are
Door.
starting to look around and look at each other.
Is the door actually locked?
Yes.
Then I will knock upon the door with the giant brass knocker.
A few moments later, the door is opened, and there is a very wizened, very old, very grumpy-looking man that opens the door in an immaculate, if very out-of-date attire. He opens the door, looks around, looks up at you, looks at the slave. You had one job.
And I
One.
quite thoroughly confused him.
What?
It appears
That's
that
all
you
he says.
were
He's
misled.
looking right at you and just says, "What?"
It appears that you were misled by my compatriots. My apologies.
Why don't you just let me kill him?
Explanations, please.
I don't know what they said, so I can't exactly explain it. May I ask what it is that they told you?
Fucking Dairns.
Look, you
I
can lose
fucking
the
hate
attitude.
the
You're just a
Dairns.
servant. I push past him.
That will be a strength check, please.
And if he makes me
Or
use,
athletics.
if
Go
he
for
makes me
athletics.
use strength, I will knock him.
So he's standing just on the other side of the door, not all the way through the door. Like, in order to get past him, you have to push the door open through him.
And I will. He has a choice. I can open the door with my hands or my warhammer. I will let
You can say that out loud to him.
No, no, I'm just standing there with the hammer, and if he doesn't get the idea, he'll decide for himself.
He looks around. He opens the door.
Very
Please
wise.
be so kind. Please be so kind as to stay here until I can retrieve the Nimrod.
I don't
and your
care about the
companions.
Nimrod. Where is Zinnia? Okay, where?
They shall be retrieved momentarily.
Yes. Good.
Please be so kind as to remain here in the foyer. And you stay with them here in the foyer, or what's coming's going to be twice as bad. You go get the other three.
Can I just kill him now?
And he
Is that dead God?
walks.
No, I just think if this is what this world has to offer, maybe we just let it out.
So for the three of you in the lounge, the servant that had recently let you into the lounge comes hustling back, very flustered, a little scared looking, and says, can you guys please follow me back to the foyer? You're muted.
He's sighing. Oh, there I.
You're
Sorry,
muted.
excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, something seems to be going on. Yeah, sure. Come on, guys. Let's all get to go. Come on, hurry. Let's go. And I'm gonna actually like trail off to the back and then veer when they go the other way.
Stealth. Roll stealth.
I'm using a point of fortune on this.
So you're lucky that as he's moving forward, some sort of clattering, or some of the guests in this room have now kind of bunched up together, and one of them causes a commotion as you disappear. Are you rolling stealth on top of rolling the fortune?
Hang on, let me check my abilities.
You should have enough ability to do that, yes.
It's only a 5% chance of a critical failure, of a complication. 5%, that's 1 in 20.
So
No, I don't.
So my new nickname is Mr. 5% then.
The 5%er.
I am the 5%.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'll roll.
Yes! Damn
There's a
it!
5% chance to roll a 20, but he's rolling twice, so that's 5%.
That's 2 successes on top of the fortune.
So you got 4
That's
successes
Roll at least.
to tuck away. Your naturally stealthy abilities, like you take 2 steps and find a linen closet, throw on the attire of some household servant that you can find real quick, and at the same time as you're doing that, some other commotion happens that flusters this servant even more, allowing you just to step away as some other commotion is happening. For those of you in the foyer, after a few moments, you hear some sort of commotion and clattering of like some pots and pans dropping or something. And then Tiber and Zinnia come walking back into the foyer.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Anything you want to tell us?
We could stay the night.
Can we now?
You know,
Yeah,
because
I told him about you being 11 foot, and he was okay
you
with
know
that.
because
He got very interested.
you know because of this, there's now a very good likelihood that we have to kill a bunch of people here now, right? I just want to make it
Like
clear
that he
here
did
that it's
the other
your
adventure?
fault.
If it's just pretend it's a bar, we'll burn it to the ground. It's okay.
You've been wanting to kill people anyway.
Thornicius has got his arms crossed. He's just kind of belly laughing, but trying to stay quiet about it. This is the first time I've ever seen one of us sold. Oh, wait till we all figure out how this is going to work out. Yeah, I'm grabbing me a beer.
A few moments later, an exceptionally scowly, wizened old man that looks like shoe leather, with an eye patch over one eye and the other eye blinded, walks into the foyer and says one word: explain.
I'm gonna give you guys a do-over here. Why don't you explain to him what's going on so that I don't have to kill a bunch of old people?
You're Tiber Dairn. You come into my home. You ask for respite. You offer a hunt to me.
And I'm
unique,
glaring at them.
Extraordinary hunt to me.
I'm glaring at them now that I'm hearing what actually has happened, that they were in here.
Tiber is like shrinking and turning red and looking around and like uncomfortable as shit. You offer a unique, extraordinary hunt to me to stay in my house.
Hold up. Xenia steps back and goes, I did not offer a hunt. I let you know that we had a party member that was 11 foot tall, and he's a emissary. Did not say anything about hunt. And I want to roll my command skill.
That one would be a persuasion, not a command.
Oh, persuasion, yeah.
A command would be more like, stop, or, something like that. Very
Well, I
decisive.
could shake my armor and say stop.
But a persuasion check, please. Your actually, you got a pretty good persuade, 12 and 3. Basically, you're trying to play semantics and diffuse the situation a little bit.
That you've allowed to happen right in front of your face.
That you created.
Just to be.
So that's one success. It is enough to at least throw enough confusion to diffuse it a little bit. And at this point, the Nimrod says, Tiber, you have one opportunity. No, somebody else. I don't care. One of you speaks. Just one. You come into my home, unwashed, unannounced, unwelcomed, and lying to me. What do you want, and why are you here?
Oh no,
Emissary, I believe this would be your moment, Emissary.
it probably would, because you have every indication right now that Aratak is on his last nerve.
Fair enough.
Also, this guy can't see. He literally doesn't even, like, as you talk, other than having a bit of a boomy voice, this guy will have no idea that you're actually the 11-foot person. Until he's told, at least.
Fair enough. I will lean forward, as I imagine stepping forward, and put my head at risk with the rafters. I introduce myself as emissary from Gitai and apparently the brains of this outfit. I apologize for my...
Right now.
I've always had the largest brain in this group.
At that statement, the butler whispers into the Nimrod's ears. The Nimrod kind of nods a little bit. Continue.
I had thought to send my compatriots ahead in case my current facade would cause some issues, but I see that was an error, and I apologize for that.
Are all people your size where you come from?
No, this is merely an incident of alchemistry that I may need to try to replicate.
Chemistry.
Yes.
Could you repeat the experiment?
I would like to try.
Thornicius like starts almost like losing it, laughing.
Somebody bring me their and a whip.
Regardless, I apologize for my compatriots' confusion, or the confusion that my compatriots have caused. We are currently on a mission to, as common as it is in our case, apparently, save the world. We need to...
Is that what Tiber alluded to?
I was not here and do not know exactly what he said, but...
Tiber's like, I said that we were working on a mission for my father.
Yeah, more or less.
More or less.
I was unaware that his father had such danes on the entire world. But continue.
It is more a consequence of our previous mission. We have found something that is more important than that. And basically, I explain...
Please do not tell him that we haven't.
Never mind. I explain that we are currently in need of supplies and we need to make our way to the nearest Temple of Light as soon as we can.
Well, there's not any temples for a long way around here.
Which is why we stopped here, as this is the nearest bastion of civilization that we have that our party has known of.
Have you? Oh, we lost Bob. We lost camera. Okay, still there, just no camera. Have you any offerings, any hunt to provide?
The closest
Or are you asking for my the kindness of my heart.
The closest hunt we could
Man
offer.
has no self-preservation instinct.
Obviously not. The closest hunt we can offer is those who are following us. But I
Do you
cannot
bring
guarantee-
danger into my home?
Yeah.
The danger is at least a few days out, and if we are not here at the time, there will be no danger to you or your.
What is this danger?
How would we describe the snake people? This is not exactly. This is an odd.
There's nobody chasing us right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Actively chasing, but I mean, like we are, like just merely having this is.
There's the.
At this time, you have pretty thoroughly evaded any of your pursuers, considering you don't even know where you are.
Yeah.
Not that there aren't people attempting to pursue you. There is a mercenary company of cavalry, probably in relation to the Drakenwolf and his company. And
All you need to do is tell him to feed us and we'll go away. That's it. Before we end up murdering these people needlessly.
So no, we are not. You are not in any danger of those who are following us. We have thoroughly evaded them.
the hunt has already begun. There's an assassin in your home already. The call is coming from inside the house.
Interesting.
Tiber, I will expect compensation from your father. At that, he again just abruptly turns around and starts grumbling something spoiled children, something not even an offering.
Can I just give
Grumbles
him
away.
a hug? I mean, won't a hug cheer him up?
Probably not. He does not seem like a huggy type of person.
It might be a trigger, okay?
Thank
It
you.
might
old
be a
great
trigger.
nincompoop.
It might be a trigger.
Might be a good trigger.
But he just turns and walks away, leaving the butler here once again. And the butler kind of says the same thing. He goes, "Please see yourselves to the lounge." Actually, let me roll something real quick. / roll 2d20. Two successes. Please see yourselves to the lounge once more. We shall have quarters prepared for you. Do be so kind as to stay in the lounge until such time as your quarters are prepared. You will be amply cared for. The Nimrod would care for no more surprises or interruptions for the evening, please. We may resume pleasantries in the morning. Where's your friend?
Bathroom.
The dark one with the cloak.
Bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. Clean herself up.
Do be so kind as to see yourselves into the lounge and stay there. I would hate for something untoward to happen to one of you.
Thank you.
Well, all right.
Many of our guests care for their privacy. Care for their privacy.
Privacy.
As once more, one of the servants leads all of you, except for Verai, back into the lounge. The servant looks around and then quickly leaves, and you hear just at the end, "She's not there."
Uh-oh.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the show. We are now at our time. We will pick this up in our next episode, on our next week, with the party partially split apart. We're going to get a raid going on here in a minute. But I just want to say from all of us, once we do get on the raid, thank you for being here. Get on the raid, be cool, say hello to everybody. Give us a good name, show everything off. We also have a couple of announcements for the rest of the shows for the next week. So tomorrow we've got Call of the Netherdeep. Once more, the Betrayers rise. In the Banditos' attempt to refocus the ire of the Betrayer gods in the direction of Io's Emerald Pact, they and Aloysia discovered their goals aligned and discovered the Banditos' shenanigans. Now the Banditos make their way to the Betrayer's Rise to discover what lies inside. Thursday, we have a night off. Friday, next time on Cookie Trek, Simon and Rufus welcome guest producer GM in the Great Barrier. He will help write a new Star Trek story that must involve... I don't know. We'll find out then, won't we? And on Sunday, we have the Tomb of Annihilation, remembering Steve. As we mourn the loss of a bright star that burned too quickly, the party is splitting once again. Al-Adin is investigating the carved gem eye that Jaeger found in a boar's head. The Cure has a pair of new skeleton friends, and Scrod and Kenneth are following a shadowy figure down a mysterious hallway. When has that ever gone wrong? Join us on Sunday to find out. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, be cool, be chill. We'll see you next week. We love you. Good night.